These interviews will document the journey of two social care professionals through the course of their career and provides an overview of their professional identity. This presentation is divided into two parts. The first half documents Susan and the second part documents Bernie. We will compare and contrast their two professional journeys. The presentation will cover the following: practitioner information on both Susan and Bernie, career development and current role, threshold concepts, rural practice, vicarious trauma, self-care, and professional identity.
Susan is a 40-year-old woman working in the northwest of Ireland. Susan's career began working with the HSE. She later realised she wanted to work with youth and went on to study youth and community development. Susan also has a diploma in social studies. Susan worked as a project worker for many years. She then moved into family support work. Susan's current role is working as a child and family coordinator under TUSLA. She helps families who are struggling to find resources such as housing, education, healthcare and counselling services. Susan has undertaken training over the years: MEHL, Logical Model, Here for You and many more. A threshold concept is a transformed way of thinking. It represents a transformed way of understanding or interpreting something. Features of a threshold concept should include the following: transformative, troublesome, irreversible, integrative, bounded, and discursive. Susan found the move from a student to a professional very difficult. She felt she wasn't confident enough to work effectively, but stated that she adapted to the work quickly. As she said, you start to live and breathe the organisation. Susan's values and beliefs have changed over time. She is more thankful of what she has in her personal life. The longer a practitioner resides in a rural community, the less likely it is that he or she will be able to completely separate professional and personal relationships, and as a result, professionals encounter actual or potential conflicts between their personal duties and their social life. Susan works in a rural community and said she has found it very problematic. As a result of rural practice, Susan has experienced dual relationships. She felt like she was never off duty. Susan said it is very difficult to address boundaries when you have already established a relationship with that person outside of the service. Vicarious trauma is the transformation that occurs in the inner experience of the therapist or worker that comes about as a result of empathetic engagement with clients' trauma material. This is when professionals are affected by the experiences and trauma stories of survivors. Susan has never experienced vicarious trauma. However, Susan has experienced burnout on many occasions due to unsupportive administration and role conflict. As a result of burnout, Susan lacked enthusiasm and motivation, and she felt she could not work effectively within the service. Susan reflects on her daily practices to reduce stress and burnout. She states it is extremely important to look after oneself in this career. For example, Susan enjoys long walks and spending time with her family to relax. Yes, Susan does consider herself a professional, and she said that this is due to continuous training, reflection, and engaging in research.
Bernie is a 58-year-old woman with a history of mental health nursing and currently working as an addiction counsellor. Bernie decided to qualify as an addiction counsellor due to her interest in addiction and the prospect of working part-time as she gets older. Bernie's role of an addiction counsellor means that she helps people to address the underlying problems attached to their addiction. Bernie has undertaken training over a number of years, such as ASSIST training, CBT, and many more. Bernie's values and beliefs changed over time. As she worked with different people, both positively and negatively, she became thankful for what she has in life and realized that she cannot fix everyone's problems. She recalled a particular client that struggled greatly with alcohol addiction and would not engage in her help. As Bernie lives in a small community, on a few occasions neighbours and friends have asked her for advice, which can make her feel under pressure and uncomfortable at times. In the past, she has worked in a management position in the mental health sector and felt as though she was always on duty. Bernie has experienced vicarious trauma many times as she is exploring traumatic issues with clients. She described how working day to day with such complicated issues made it hard to concentrate on other areas of her life, such as being a wife and mother at home. Bernie stressed how important self-care is. Personally, she takes time in her working day to reflect. Every day after work, Bernie does something to relax her mind, be it cooking, reading, exercising, spending time with family, or meeting friends. Bernie considers herself a professional now, although when she first entered her role after being a student, she did not have as much confidence in her role, especially at multidisciplinary meetings. Bernie says it is important to know your role and what others expect from you, and also what you expect from others. Both professionals are thankful for what they have in their personal lives. Both experienced dual relationships due to rural practice. Both considered reflection essential during work time. Susan was never experienced vicarious trauma, whereas Bernie has. This may be due to a difference in personality.